Time, though, now for another round of dating in the DMV. And for many people, the return to the dating scene is happening later in life. It's all part of the wave of gray divorces. And here to dig into the hot topic are longtime married couple and authors, Julie and David Bulitt. Thank you so much for joining us once again. Good
Always happy to be here.
We love
Great
coming
to talk to you.
anytime.
So for people who are hearing, Marissa, gray divorce, what is that? What is it?
It's folks 50 and above who've been together for already been married for a long time. So it's not a little 3-month marriage and we're done. Yeah. Folks who've been married for 10, 20, 30 years or even further, above 50 years old, who are breaking up. That's basically the definition.
Yeah, and we know this happened obviously in real life, but people are talking about it more because we're seeing it among celebrities more
you saw
often.
the Gores? Al
Yeah,
Gore
absolutely. I saw that.
There have been others, Masters
Hugh
and Johnson.
Jackman and his wife. And I think, too, when I see these stories online, people are commenting, well, if you've been with somebody 10, 20, 30-plus years, no matter what's going on, why call it off?
Yeah, so that's an interesting question. And some people really just do power through, you know, for the kids or for different reasons, financial reasons. People don't get divorced. But the ultimate issue that happens is people ask themselves the question, do I want to be here the rest of my life with this person? And if you ask those kind of very powerful questions, sometimes you have an answer that you know then you have to do something with, right? Like, it's almost like a midlife crisis.
Right.
Well, yeah, they call it empty nest syndrome. I call it malaise creep, you know, where just things set in year after year, day after day, and month after month, and all of a sudden you realize you're just not that happy. Now I'm 55, I'm 60, I'm 65. There's no kids to raise anymore. The jobs may not be as tough as they were earlier. And do I want to live the rest of my life just kind of going through the paces,
It's very tough. Personally, my mother, it wasn't a divorce, but I lost my father, her husband of 30 years. And so she's starting over, all over again and dating. And I think for people who decide to divorce, there's that fear of being single later in life and what does that look like. So talk about that challenge as well as the reward that can be in it.
Yeah, so interestingly, I mean, I think it's very scary if you haven't dated, you know, since maybe you were 20 to all of a sudden be 50 or 60 years old and having to date. However, there's science behind the chemicals in our brain and falling in love. And they're the same chemicals that happened when you were 20 or 30, when you're 60, 70, 80 years old. So you can get the same kind of feelings. So you shouldn't give up hope, and you should always be looking for that great feeling.
And there's a certain amount of guilt, right? I mean, I've been in this relationship for 30 or 40 years, and I'm leaving it. And not only is what's the effect on me and the anxiety that goes along with that, but what's the effect on my former spouse, soon to be my former spouse, my children, and my extended family? There's a lot of emotions going on, and there's a lot of potential legal issues that folks have to deal with. When you're talking about having acquired things during those 30 or 40 years together, or 20 years, whatever it is. Not like, you know, we just finished college, we both got $12 in the bank. You know?
And have more time, so we think, to get it together. But I love, too, that you both say, it's okay to start over if necessary, and you still have something to live and love for. Right, we're at any age.
Yeah, we're living so much longer, and so it's interesting to kind of think about relationships in the past, and you know, people would be married 40, 50 years, and then somebody would die. Now people are living so much longer that the length of a relationship is much longer, and we grow and we change, and I think that we have to take in account for that. We don't always grow and change together. You know, people will say, well, you and David have been married 37 years. What's your secret? And I say it's work, but it's also luck that we've been able to sort of change with each other. And
it's work for me, not as much work for him.
Right.
Just say it's a labor of love. Labor of love.
He always says that. Yeah, he always says that. But
you give me the opening, so I might as well.
But it's true. I mean, and to have that expectation that you're going to stay with the same person for 50, 60, 70 years is kind of crazy.
Yeah, it's a tall order, especially these days. Well, I want to thank you both for being so transparent and helping couples, people who want to be coupled up in this journey we call life. And you can definitely stay in touch with them online. You have books that aid in this area as well. That's One Secrets of Strong Couples.
Yep, that's our latest
support them, their latest book. And we hope to have you both back really soon to guest host
Love to be here. It's always a pleasure talking to you.
We would love to come back. Thank you, Marissa.